In this video, I'm going to be talking about every single popular MC in Cultivation novels, xianxia, or whatever that nigga Dev Play said. I'm sorry. First up, probably one of the most legendary Cultivation novels, one that I always recommend everybody who never read a Cultivation novel or xianxia, and I'll forever recommend it, even if you read it plenty and you never picked this up. This is from my boy Arjun. Nice. There's more Arjun novels on here. He's probably the most consistent Cultivation author of all time. Consistent. That mean out of all these niggas who keep on writing novels, bro, he's the most consistent. He never misses. Usually. And that is Renegade Immortal. I absolutely love this story. This got 2,088 chapters. It's about a boy named Wanglin who lives in Immortal Village. Everybody loves him. His family loves him, besides his outer family. But one day his uncle comes to him and say, yo, I got an opportunity for you to join a cultivation sect. I had 2 opportunities. I'm gonna give one to your cousin, and I'm gonna give one to Wanglin. Hey, how about it? His parents was like, yippee. But if you watch the manhwa, well, whatever it's called, you'll know that they was like, oh, maybe he should, no, maybe he shouldn't no, it was never like that. When you go to the World of Immortals, that's an elevation in status. Wanglin takes the opportunity. He goes to this sect trial out. He absolutely fails it because he basically have no potential. The nigga's a sorry-ass cultivator. He runs away. They think he killing them. They think he went to go kill himself because it's a common occurrence for people who fail. Turns out that he just ran through the forest because he was embarrassed, because when he came back, when his parents was holding a party with his outer family, which I told you who hate him, they was all making fun of him. He ran away because he was a little kid. He was only 12 years old. He ran into the forest, tripped, fell into a cave, and then he found this pearl. And that's all she wrote. Shout out Sue Mink. Reverend Insanity got a lot of classic tropes and stereotypical tropes, but it's the consistency in the way they're executed that makes them different than most Cultivation novels. And also, this got some pretty iconic moments in the Cultivation novel sphere, where if you heard of the whole Tang sect, which, minor spoiler, when he died to this dude named Tang, when he revived, he made it a mission to exterminate that nigga and his whole bloodline, basically removing Tang off the map, putting them in the reincarnation cycle. They no longer is on the planet Earth. They're no longer breathing. There's nobody who has the surname Tang. They're gone. He literally committed a genocide by chapter 200, or was it 300? If you want an overarching story that is built from the very beginning, right in front of your eyes, you don't even know it until the end. If you want hot-blooded action, if you want, you see an evolution of character, you see a nigga go from evil to good, it's one of the greatest novels of all time. It also has one of the most comprehensive cultivation systems that you will ever read, besides one more other shit on this list. This next one is probably made by one of the greatest authors of all time, Gu Zinren. I am talking about Feng Wan from Reverend Insanity. People will say this dude's one of the greatest characters of all time. Some people will even say this is one of the best world building of all time. I'm gonna have to argue that. But I will admit, it is a damn good Cultivation novel. Now, if you want to know what Reverend Insanity is about, this dude, he used to be a scholar back on Earth. He transmigrated into the Gu world. If you don't know what Gu are, it's this old practice back in ancient China when they would put poisonous insects in a Gu bottle, in like a bottle or like a clay bottle of some sort, have them duke it out over a couple hours to a couple days, and then whoever's the last surviving poisonous insect is the deadliest, aka has the most potent venom, aka is the strongest. And that's the whole recipe, the whole disposition, the whole layout of the Gu world. Dog eat dog world. The strong beat the weak. Only power matters. We all used to this in Cultivation novels. One thing that is different in Reverend Insanity is that schemes run deep, and this shit is deeper than anything we've ever imagined. But like I was saying, right, this dude transmigrated into the not Cultivation, but the Gu world. He succumbed to 200 years of torment, and then for the last 400 years, he turned into a demon. And then right around the last moments before he died, he got pressed by the whole righteous side of the world because they figured out that he would find a crazy immortal Gu that's in the top 10, the Spring God Asura. When the user uses it, they are allowed to go back in time at a set amount, and after you use it, it also needs to recharge. So it isn't something that you could just spam as long as you have enough energy or spiritual energy. No, it has a setback, it has a drawback. But he's like, you know what, I'm gonna die. Who knows, the rumor's true. He getting pressed on this mountain. He's barely dying. He's bleeding out. He's like, you know what, fuck it, bro. It's a 1v 50,000. I can't do it. I'm gonna use this Spring God Asura. He uses it, and he goes back to a day before he starts cultivating. And that's all she wrote. I have never seen a plot twist so crazy in my life. Now listen, the thought that is put into this novel, I can see why people are saying this is one of the greatest novels of all time. This got some of the most iconic moments. When we're talking about crazy build-ups towards the end of volumes, Reverend Insanity does it best, and it gets crazier and crazier as you go on. You'll have to talk about volume 2, got a review on that already. You'll have to talk about volume 1, got a review on that already. Like, come on, bro, like, what we do? I should have a volume 3 and 4. We're the 5th one, yeah. It's also got one of the most complicated powers. Well, I wouldn't say complicated. It's simplistic, but it could get very complex, especially later on when you start to add Dow marks, which is something I'm barely edging on when the last time I read it. And this got over 2,334 chapters. Now, if you ask me, should you read it? Even though that sounds like a lot. The last one even sounds like, I think you should read both of them, but I think that you should probably save Reverend Insanity so when you know for sure you don't have no other novels left. I'm telling you, bro, you do not want to read Reverend Insanity, because I ain't gonna lie to you, ever since I read Reverend Insanity, most novels have been garbage. Now, don't get me wrong, they was already garbage, but they became even more garbage to the point where there's not even such thing as a junk food section for me no more. It's like, why would I read junk food when Reverend Insanity exists? So I'm keep on scurrying through the novels, going through Copium. Hopefully, I can find a Reverend Insanity. Also, even though this have 2,334 chapters, this probably isn't the last of the chapters, at least that we know of so far, because this SCP Council canceled it over there in the mainland, over there in that, you know what I mean? They canceled the scripture because it was low-key going to Apollyon status. It went from a Euclid to a Keter. Now it's Apollyon. They don't know it's finna cause a Class K cauterization. They was like, hold on, man, we gotta neutralize the SCP. They neutralized SCP 2334. But Goose Linus dash 2. I'm sorry, I don't know what I said. Bro, just read it. I don't want to get hit by the SCP Council because I'm low-key reaching Apollyon status myself. If they was to neutralize me, what would that mean? You don't want to know. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm not familiar with this author's game. Maybe because this author don't make a lot of novels. He's known for making one of the most long-running novels of all time. I think it ended recently. Let me check. No, it has not ended recently. As of right now, it has got 6,903 chapters. Here's the author on the screen. I'm not gonna even try to pronounce it, but I'm obviously talking about Emperor's Domination. Who cares about the author? The author is a no-name. His name could literally be P. Doesn't matter because you made Emperor's Domination. The name of your novel outscathed your notoriety. You're just a vessel for Lee Ki-yi. Now, who is Lee Ki-yi? He's the MC of Emperor's Domination. If you don't know what Emperor's Domination is about, this young boy got dragged out of his mortal village by an old man who then proceeds to suck out his soul and put it inside of a crow. Inside of that crow body, Lee Ki-yi, that is 50 million years, he traveled all around the cultivation world, teaching all these young immortal masters, teaching them the cultivation way. He saw techniques that was so wondrous. He saw wars that was crazy. He participated in wars that were crazy. 50 million years go by. He somehow goes back to his mortal body. His mortal body still pristine. Isn't a skeleton on some Brook type beat. He goes back to his mortal body. Now remember, 50 million years has passed. The cultivation world is very different from when he got his soul sucked out. But the thing is now, when he was a crow, because he was there with the immortal masters. Imagine 50 million years ago, he was there during the foundation of the cultivation universe. He was there during the primordial era. He taught the same people who built these sects in the Emperor's Domination world now, who made these techniques, who made these creations, who made all of it. Shit, he made most of it. He the one who gave these niggas inspiration to make these sects. Like some of the founders of some of these sects, he the one who inspired them. He was the little B. He was the little B of the whole universe, bro. Like, I kid you not. And so, when he go back to his body, the whole point of this novel, and which is why it's iconic for, is a pure face slap novel. It's not as much as 9-Star Hegemon Body Art, but for show, it's definitely a pure face slap novel. Because all that happens in this novel, at least from as much as I've read, yo, who do you think you are? Dude uses technique. He does some crazy movement. And the dude's like, what type of crazy movement is this mortal doing? Remember, this dude is 4 realms above him. Lee Ki is immortal. Straight up mortal, no cultivation. I'm finna use this move, this technique on him. Use technique on Lee Ki. Lee Ki do some mysterious movement with his hands. The dude laughing and I'm like, yo, what is this mortal doing? He's spazzing out. Then he realized, yo, my technique ain't circulating. It's because the dude literally built the 9-set extraordinary meridians technique physique that you use, and the dude know how to disable it because he's the founder. You try to use the sect defensive treasure, you going to war with Lee Ki and his sect. You try to use your sect defensive treasure, you like, yo, you press the button, they press the button, the rockets are finna launch. You like, yeah, let's get it popping. You look back, you like, hold on, why the rockets ain't launching? You see that Lee Ki is doing some crazy hand symbol, you like, hold on. That's literally the only thing that's good about this novel. But at least 9-star Hegemon body art. Nah, never mind. They're both trash. If you want to read this, go ahead. This is junk food. If you like the face slap, he told him what's right. Let go ahead. I think the only thing that is really good about this novel is the scope. The world building must be insane after 3,000 chapters, at least so I've heard. I heard the cultivation system get really unique after chapter 4,343. So make sure you actually read past that, and maybe it might actually be a good novel. Now, this next one is recently on the come up. It just got a manhwa. The manhwa is actually more popular than the novel, sadly, because I think the manhwa absolutely ruins the whole image of the novel. And this one I'm talking about coming from the author Xianxia, I think his name. Let Me Laugh. I'm talking about my boy, Let Me Laugh. And that is Top Tier Providence. Listen. Top Tier Providence tell of a story of a boy named Hanju. He migrate into the cultivation world. He starts off as like this young boy in this herb village. He's basically a slave to farm herbs every single day for 10 hours a day for this immortal who's barely in the first realm of the cultivation world, and he's just forced to be a slave and take up these herbs. But the special thing about our MC is that he got a system that makes it so that every single day, he can re-roll his potential once. But once he re-rolls his potential and confirms his potential, he can no longer re-roll it again. But he can re-roll it infinitely. But remember, he has to try only once a day. So our MC being patient, which is very important with Hanju, and this shows it off early, he's very patient. From a little boy all the way up to, I think, like 14, 15, this dude re-rolls every single day trying to get the best potential he can, and he get like this, I forgot what it's called, I think it was like the Supreme Immortal Talent or something like that. He confirms it, everything's gravy. I don't want to spoil the rest because then we start to get into deeper plot territories, and this isn't a review. But the number one thing about this novel is that the MC is patient. He will wait, he will sit in the cave and cultivate for thousands of years. He take the literal, like when people hear cultivation, like, oh yeah, they absorb spiritual energy and stuff like that to break through. And you know, they hide in cave abodes and they sit there for thousand years. Why don't you just sit there and absorb the spirit energy? You don't need to shower, you don't need to sleep, you don't care about the worldly affairs for real, or so they say. So why are you trying to go out there and trying to fight when you could just sit and absorb spiritual energy? And Hanju literally takes that to a T. Why would he go out and fight? He don't need to. He don't want to die. He don't care who get hurt. His girl could get hurt. His best friend could get hurt. His sect could get destroyed. It don't matter. He gonna sit there and cultivate. Oh man, well, if I break through, I can always get revenge. That's all he care about, bro. He don't care. He's not bloodlusted. He's not like, no, ooh, I'm gonna get revenge. Ooh, I'm gonna get revenge on him. He slayed my whole sect. Ooh, he killed my pet. Hanju just be like, GG, maybe in the reincarnation cycle, maybe you'll get a second chance. That's literally how you be like. Now, I recommend reading the novel. If you want to read the manhwa, go ahead. Top Tier Providence got 1,192 chapters. Go ahead and read it if you want. Next up, probably the most underrated novels, probably one of the most underrated authors. I feel like Arjun, Guzu Rin, probably the dude who made, what's that fucking trash ass novel, Battle Through Against the Heavens, whatever that universe is, that trash universe. He always get outscaped by those authors. Even though all his novels are low-key the same, it's very, very fun to read them. I'm talking about my boy I Eat Tomatoes, and the specific novel I'm talking about is Desolate Era. His best work, one of the best power systems, probably the craziest scaling you'll ever see, and probably the best generic novel of all time. Now, this is about a boy named Jining. He dies in the real world. I think he died to some sickness in the real world, and then he reincarnates. Well, he first meets this immortal who tells him that he's gonna reincarnate into the cultivation world. And then he reincarnates into the cultivation world as Jining, and the G clan is a fallen clan. And it's only his mom and his dad, and I think his grandfather and him. But besides that, they only have their sect their family inheritance, and that's it. But it's a fallen family, a fallen clan, whatever you wanna say. And it's basically a journey of how Jining goes from this small backwater, barely even like a clan slash family, to uprising the G name throughout the whole Chaos verse. Now this novel got 1,450 chapters, nice and short for a cultivation novel, and it gets pretty crazy in the scaling too, like relatively fast. Like by chapter 500, the dude's leaving planets. He's a body refiner and a spiritual energy refiner too. So he's a dual cultivator in that sense, as in he cultivates the body and energy. He's not a dual cultivator in a way where he has a harem, and that's another thing. He doesn't have a harem. I don't even think he has a true love interest either, besides that 9 Lotus girl, but even then, she was barely in the novel regardless. Honestly, if you just want a really nice pacing, short and sweet, 0 to hero, I wouldn't say it's the best. It's like the jack of all trades, master of none. It's no comedy, but it's generic, but it's good cheese. It's good generic. It's good campiness. It's good corniness. You gotta read it, bro. Shit talks about reincarnation, families, because like I said, he's from the G clan, Fallen clan. If those sound interesting to you, Desolate Era is the go-to. And I think he's also iconic for having this crazy technique where he can have 9 arms. Bro, I'm telling you, brother. Next up, this one from my boy Arjun again. People will actually argue and say this is actually his best novel. Personally, in my opinion, that's Renegade Immortal. But this next one I'm talking about is I Shall Seal the Heavens. Now, I Shall Seal the Heavens tell of a boy named Ming Hao, who's just a normal scholar, basically studying to become a scholar in order to get into the government and make a lot of money. That's all he cares about. He fails the scholar assessment, and then he's like, oh, poo, I'll take it next year. And then he gets snatched by this lady who takes him to this sect, and he also got snatched up along with 3 other people who's also got main character-esque type of powers who develop into influential figures later on. Now, this is a comedy novel compared to other Arjun novels. I wouldn't say Arjun isn't a comedy guy. It's just more so from where we came from before I Shall Seal the Heavens. Like, we had Renegade Immortal and Pursuit of the Truth. Like, after Pursuit of the Truth, it's like, wow, okay, we go from Pursuit of the Truth to I Shall Seal the Heavens. No. I'm pretty sure I could just show the art and it's like, yo, yeah, there's something different about these two. Arjun actually nailed the comedy and the seriousness perfect. So I wouldn't say that the novel's all serious. This novel got like 1,614 or 13 chapters, if I remember correctly. I'll say the first half of the novel isn't serious until like chapter, not even the first half, like I'll say till like chapter 300, 400, something happens, and then it gets very, very serious. If you like funny side characters, because I ain't gonna lie to you, this got the best set of characters I've probably seen in a cultivation novel. Probably like ever. Like if I'm thinking about, like off the top of my head, it's probably the best. But if I think about it, even then it'll probably top 3. We talking about Fatty Wang, Lord Fifth, and Meat Jelly. I think that's already enough if you ask me. Once you admit those, that's just enough. And the dude who Ming Hao stole spiritual energy from his lamps. That guy was funny too. The big massive turtle, Patriarch Immortal, whatever the name. But he was legendary too. Everybody there was legendary. Everyone was legendary. Everybody. The schemes ran deep. It was a funny ass novel. And the whole juxtaposition of Meat Jelly and Lord Fifth of an angel and devil on your shoulder. And this dude's a Confucian. And he gonna act like no, we cannot treat people badly and poorly. But then they go and rob and steal for cash. Bro, bunch of two-faced MC. It's the juxtaposition that is absolutely amazing. This got some legendary moments because Arjun just a great writer in that aspect. This, if you want a comedy, face slapping xianxia, and I wouldn't even say it's face slapping, but it's cultivation, so it's inherently gonna have some face slapping. But it's mostly a comedy novel with really good side characters, strong family focus, strong relationship focus. You will really love this novel, especially once. All I'm saying is somebody comes down and curse somebody. Now this next one I really don't know a lot about. I never want to touch this ever again, so I'm gonna skim through this thoroughly. Shout out my boy, the author, how you pronounce this nigga name, xiaoxia, basically the author of Defying Dan. God, this novel is about a dude. He doesn't have meridians. He's considered trash in his sect. Sounds unique, right? He runs away, or I think he runs away. He falls down this cliff and he meets 2 women who are damaged. One black hair, one white hair, right? You see where this is going. But they're like, yo, we got a deal for you. We're gonna dual cultivate with you and give you our meridians because we see that you have damaged meridians, so let's have a deal. You go up the ranks, we give you these meridians with this dual cultivation technique. You go up the rank, and once you get a substantial rank in the cultivation world, you can help us rebuild our meridians. And that's the whole deal. And he's like, well, sure. This has had to be the most I'ma let life take me anywhere it wants to take me type of MC. I'm talking about where the wind blows, I go type of MC in the cultivation world. I'm talking about airhead MC. I'm talking about idiotic MC. I'm talking about I don't learn from my mistakes MC. I'm talking about I can't tell right from wrong, 1 + 1 = 3 MC. This is one of the worst novels of all time, and he has probably one of the biggest harems too. That's just an added on cherry on the shit sundae. Like, the dude got like over 25 women, I kid you not. Like, how is there even a significant character? Like, we know they drop off characters in cultivation novels. Even in the best cultivation novels, we don't even see certain characters that have been there since the beginning, who's well written. So, like, why the fuck are you trying to add 25 different women? Oh yeah, the MC name is xianxia. If you like seeing the MC go from the mortal realms to the immortal realms, to the immortal realms to the divine realms, and that's really all it has to it, there you go. Face slapping, harem, J beauties, unique cultivation. Ooh, it's not even unique, bro. Niggas just be saying anything. I write it because the cultivation. Sure you did, buddy. If you like the harem, bro, if you like the face slapping, bro, if you like the easy digestible story like I do, at least be honest. Next one up after this, let's just move past Defying Dan. God, don't want to talk about it no more. Oh yeah, Defying Dan got like 3,822 chapters. But this next one I'm talking about, author's relatively known just because he's been writing this same one for so long. I think it ended recently, actually, although I could be wrong. Kind-Hearted B, Martial God Asura. Now, Martial God Asura, this is the type of novel where even if you just recently started reading novels, I don't know how you can even find this novels like sustenance. I think this is one of those novels where even if you're a beginner, like at least if you pick up Tier Providence, you pick up shit, Defying Dan, God. This is like the worst type of nomad novel. Martial God Asura is about this dude named Chu Feng. The only thing that's special about Chu Feng is that when he was young, I think he was struck with tribulation lightning. In his Dentine, he got like 9 colored lightning. And because of that, his cultivation is a lot slower, but he's a lot stronger. But it also sealed his bloodline. Sounds like ancient godly monarch. My family's from a higher realms, I bet. Oh my god, I didn't notice until I hit the divine realms. Who were my parents? I don't know. I will be honest, I didn't read a lot of this novel, but the stuff I've heard from online research or Reddit, especially during the beginning times when I started reading cultivation novels, it turned me off even more because the novel is already garbage. You gotta realize, when I first started reading cultivation novels, I said, damn, this shit sucks. And then I'm reading all this stuff about it, and it's like, it's even horrible. And I continue to hear stuff about it 3 years later, and now we hear it's still bad. If it's still ongoing, bro, I don't like, what is he writing, bro? Like, and how much money is he making off of this to feel like that he like, yeah, this is a good side hustle? And how is people still falling for it? The only thing iconic about this one is, like I said, is like the worst type of nomad. I'd rather you read Renegade Immortal. Like, it's the worst type of nomad. All he does is go around crazy kookly places, causing destruction and mayhem. Do something bad, gets chased by a sect, destroys sect. Like, it's the normal gameplay loop. How